If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
It's unfortunate that President Trump has been misinformed. This false narrative that there's some persecution or a genocide.
Why isn't it a genocide against Christians in Nigeria?
We don't want to be the next Sudan.
You dispute the numbers that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed.
We are not hiding any facts.
Right now, you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. There is a reason that we're seeing these Islamic militants going around and yelling Allahu Akbar. That's not by coincidence.
It's easy for her to sit thousands of miles away and play games with people's lives.
I perform several warriors because the Islamic are controlling the government. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria.
Nicki Minaj will address the United Nations later today alongside US Ambassador Mike Waltz. The Queen of Rap is not often seen at the UN. She's speaking out because, like so many people at the moment, she's extremely alarmed about what is happening in Nigeria. It's the most populous country in Africa and one of its wealthiest, but it's fair to say it hasn't traditionally been a big subject for Western media or the US podcast circuit until recently. Just over a month ago, HBO's Bill Maher said this.
If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck. You are in a bubble. And again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000. Thousand churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
Thank you.
Many prominent figures are now raising the issue. Senator Ted Cruz wrote since 2009, over 50,000 Christians in Nigeria have been massacred. It's a result of decisions made by specific people in specific places at specific times. The United States knows who those people are. A series of stories have followed on major US networks, including Fox, whose interviews on the subject were said to have angered President Trump. The US leader is now threatening Nigeria with, in his words, sweet military action, choosing not to rule out both airstrikes and boots on the ground. He's also threatening to withhold more than $1 billion in US aid. Just this weekend, government abducted 25 girls from a high school in Nigeria. Boko Haram is being blamed. Understandably, I wanted to find out more about all of this. I expected the Nigerian government to be addressing the situation with urgency and invited the Nigerian Foreign Minister, Yusuf Tuggar, to appear on the show. There was a bit of a bad line, but I'm sure that you and many in the White House will find what followed pretty extraordinary.
A superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
This video is made in partnership with Adobe. If you're looking for the best software for streamlining document review processes, the smartest document assistant, and the best...
The extraordinary. Well, joining me now is the Nigerian Foreign Minister.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately...
Major US networks, including Fox, whose interviews on the subject were said to have angered President Trump. The US leader is now threatening Nigeria with, in his words, sweet military action, choosing not to rule out both airstrikes and boots on the ground. He's also threatening to withhold more than $1 billion in US aid. Just this weekend, government abducted 25 girls from a high school in Nigeria. Boko Haram is being blamed. Understandably, I wanted to find out more about all of this. I expected the Nigerian government to be addressing the situation with urgency and invited the Nigerian Foreign Minister, Yusuf Tuggar, to appear on the show. There was a bit of a bad line, but I'm sure that you and many in the White House will find what followed pretty extraordinary. Well, joining me now is the Nigerian Foreign Minister, Ambassador Yusuf Tuggar. Welcome to you, Foreign Minister. I appreciate you joining Uncensored.
Thank you for having me, Piers.
So a simple question. If somewhere between 50 to 100,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria since 2009, depending on which bit of data you want to take up, and 18,000 Christian churches have been destroyed, why isn't it, as some people are claiming, a genocide against Christians in Nigeria?
Well, to begin with, those figures are completely and totally inaccurate and false. And many in the media have examined them, they fact-checked them. So they come from Inter-Society and Open Doors, and they've been shown to be totally inaccurate. What we have in Nigeria is a multi-ethnic, multi-tribal, multi-religious country of 230 million people. Our nation building project is not an easy one. We have suffered from the effects of things that we have no control over, exogenous factors such as the breaking up of the Libyan state, the killing of Gaddafi, the proliferation of weapons and fighters that have cascaded down to the northern fringes of Nigeria and beyond, and have affected the entire region. The failure of the Sahel strategy over the years, these are all things that we are suffering the effects of. And we do have Boko Haram in the Lake Chad region that affects not just Nigeria, but 3 other countries, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, that we've been contending with through the multinational joint task force that allows the troops of the countries in the region to pursue the terrorists. 50,000 insurgents and people that were caught in the region of the insurgency having surrendered, and we were in the course of processing them, and some were being rehabilitated, others were being processed through the legal system when Niger had to pull out because of the failure of the EU Sahel strategy and the military coup that was experienced in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Constipation can wreck. I keep a bottle of Zupu around for when things slow down. It clears me out gently, no emergency moments, just steady relief. I usually follow it up with a probiotic supplement like Tribiome to keep things.
Look, you've made it clear.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the
insurgents and people that were caught in the region of the insurgency having surrendered, and we were in the course of processing them, and some were being rehabilitated, others were being processed through the legal system when Niger had to pull out because of the failure of the EU Sahel strategy and the military coup that was experienced in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali.
Look, you've made it clear that you believe these numbers are wildly exaggerated. The International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law is a non-governmental organization that monitors and tracks human rights abuses across Nigeria. In its report in August, it said jihadist groups, including Boko Haram and ISIS in Nigeria, had killed over 100,000 Christians in the last 16 years. It also noted that 60,000 moderate Muslims have been killed in that period too. Now, I guess my obvious question to you is, if it's not 100,000, then how many Christians have been murdered since 2009? And if it's not 18,000 Christian churches that have been destroyed, how many is it?
We in Nigeria have Christians, we have Muslims, we have atheists, we have animists, and when we're counting death tolls, we don't necessarily go by religion, and quite often it's difficult to even identify what religion an individual that has just lost their lives belongs to. And what we are concerned about is that they are Nigerians first and foremost. And we've seen these sort of agitations by faith-based organizations that is a prelude to the breaking up, to the dismemberment of countries. We've seen it in Sudan. We know this playbook. It's happened. There were agitations to create South Sudan, which was expected to be a predominantly Christian country, separate from North Sudan, which is meant to be a Muslim country. Now we have a situation where there's fighting, continuous fighting in South Sudan. There's another round about to kick off. The same thing in the North Sudan, where
but let me interrupt.
Muslim fighting each other. So we don't want to be the next Sudan. We will not allow ourselves to be the next Sudan.
No,
where
I understand
are the faith-based groups that were agitating and to be dismembered? They're no longer there to fix Sudan.
Okay.
Not North, not South.
Okay.
Where it's Nigeria as a member of the peace.
Let me jump in if I may.
With the heavy lifting.
Foreign Minister, if I may, I'd like to jump in if I may, because you do seem to be avoiding my questions. You know, you don't seem to know how many Christians have been murdered, which I find surprising.
I'm not.
Well, you haven't given me any. You've told me you don't know. Well, well, just with respect, sir, you have not given.
Nigeria.
No, you have, I know what you said. I understand.
Same as those that.
But you are, yes. But what you're saying, if you could let me speak, what you're saying is that you dispute the numbers of Christians that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed. What we surely can agree on is how many Christian churches have been destroyed. Do you know how many?
Yes, I do.
If you owe back taxes to the IRS, they can garnish your wages and levy your bank accounts. They can even seize your retirement or take your home. Don't let the IRS target you. Call the professionals at Tax Network USA. Their top tax lawyers and enrolled agents are experts in the powerful programs that can help you to eliminate your tax debt. Tax Network USA is A+ rated and has saved more than $1 billion for their clients. Whether you owe thousands or millions, one phone call can start the process of taking control. But you need to act now while you have options. For a free consultation, call Tax Network USA today at 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/peers. Don't let the IRS be the first to act.
Johnson, why are you naked? Because my t-shirt sucks. Look at Gibson. He's wearing a true classic tee. It fits him tight in all the right places, but leaves the perfect amount of room in the front. God, I hate that guy. He looks so...
First to act.
Over the last 2 years, there have been 52 churches, depending on which region, again, you are referring to, because there are different regions in Nigeria, and there are, I can give you the figures right here now. So,
well, how many since 2009?
Since 2009, since the last 5 years, attacks, not destroyed, attacks on churches, 102. So we're not hiding any figures, you see. It's important to understand this. Same way that there are mosques that are destroyed. I don't even have to mention that. Nigeria is configured in such a way that you have Muslim and Christian populations all across the country. There are, of course, states out of the 36 states that we have that have a high concentration of Christians, the same way that there are states where you have a high concentration of Muslims. Take, for example, the more recent attacks that have brought about an intensifying genocide. The ground
well, it's actually more than Bill Maher. If I may jump in again. If I may play you. No, I understand. If I may just finish this. If I may jump in, sorry.
No, if I can just finish this. If I can just finish this, sorry. The governor of Benue State happens to be a man of the cloth. He's a reverend, he's a Catholic. So you can see how it is impossible for him to be concealing what is happening. He would be screaming at the top of his voice if indeed there was some genocide or if there was some specific calculated targeting of Muslims, Christians. But he knows there isn't, and that is why he is not doing so.
But let me play you a clip from President Donald Trump about this.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns are blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. These are cherished people. These are great people. Leave them alone. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast before it's too late. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
I'm Steffi, and this is the famous footwear that goes big on holiday magic. And with over 800 stores, you're never far from the perfect gift.
Make your list and make it famous.
Come in today for buy one pair, get one half off at your local Famous Footwear or famous.com.
So what is your message to President Trump, who obviously completely disagrees with you?
My message is that utmost respect for the United States of America. We have, by extension, the utmost respect for its president, President Trump. It's unfortunate that President Trump has been misinformed by those that trade in generalized labelings, and unfortunately, it has resulted in this statement. We urge that the engagement that is ongoing continues so that we will provide more information and clarity. We are not the ground for either a jihad nor a crusade. Nigerians have lived in peace, relative peace with each other for a very, very long period of time. We are the people that populate the confluence of the rivers Niger and Benue, and we will continue to do so. And it's important to be mindful of the complexity of the Nigerian state. It is a multi-diverse state in so many regards, and it is an ally of the US because we've worked successfully together in the past. And we actually appreciate what President Trump has done in the past when other subsequent US administrations would not sell Tucano jet fighters to us, planes, aircraft to us. President Trump acquiesced to that. Some of the things that we're experiencing at the moment have a direct linkage to the application of the Leahy Law to countries like Nigeria, where they were deprived of weapons to maintain peace at home and help also maintain peace in the region. This is why we continue to experience terrorism in the region, in the Sahel region, whereas in the past, when we worked successfully together with the US, you could see what Nigeria was able to achieve. We resettled Sierra Leone, we resettled Liberia successfully, and our multinational joint task force
Minister, I'm interrupting
was very
you.
effective in the fight against terrorism. Until
Minister, just stay there for a moment, if you will, because joining me now is the former Canadian MP Goldie Gamari, host of the Goldie Show, who has spoken out frequently at what she says is a genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Goldie Gamari, welcome to Uncensored. What is your response to the Foreign Minister of Nigeria, who says there is no genocide, the numbers of those who've been killed, number of churches attacked, has been wildly exaggerated?
Well, first of all, Pierce, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. Pierce, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it probably is a duck. There is a reason that we're seeing these Islamic militants going around and yelling Allahu Akbar. That's not by coincidence. There's a reason that they are attacking Christians on Christmas Eve. Let's not forget that back in 2014, almost 300 Christian schoolgirls were kidnapped by these Islamic militants. 80 of them, their whereabouts are still unknown. Pierce, what's happening in Nigeria is jihad. It's the exact same thing that happened on October 7 by Islamists when they broke into Israel and murdered Jews yelling Allahu Akbar. It's the exact same thing that ISIS terrorists did to the Yazidis in Iraq. It's the exact same thing that happened in Lebanon. Here's the difference between what's happening today in Nigeria versus what happened 1400 years ago when the Muslim Arab invaders came to Persia is that back then people did not have cameras, but today they do. It is 100% jihad. We've seen it before. This is how the Islamist playbook always happens.
Well, I don't think that the foreign minister was denying that bad things have been happening. He's just denying that it constitutes a genocide and that the numbers
of course, because his government is a part of it.
Of murders of Christians.
I think his government is complicit.
But
right now, you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. One of the things that he didn't mention to you is that typically it's been a constitutional convention in Nigeria that if the prime minister is Muslim, then if the president is Muslim, then the vice president is Christian. If the president is Christian, then the vice president is Muslim. This is intended to have a proper representation of the Nigerian population. Right now, you have a Muslim president, and then they decided to choose a Muslim vice president, and so there is actually no Christian representation in the Islamist government. By the way, this is a government that is working closely behind the scenes with the Islamic Republic of Iran. You should ask the foreign minister why Nigerian school children are holding pictures of the Ayatollah, who is a brutal dictator and is murdering my people in Iran. People need to look into the linkages between the current Nigerian government and the Islamic Republic of Iran. I was a politician for 7 years, Pierce, and I can tell when someone is lying and avoiding the truth. That's exactly what this foreign minister is doing, and shame on him for lying.
Foreign minister, your response to that?
With all due respect to the lady, I'm sorry, I forget her name. She has already exposed her ignorance and lack of knowledge about Nigeria, and it's easy for her to sit thousands of miles away and play games with people's lives. These are real.
I'm not the one playing games with people's lives. 7,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. 7,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. Who's playing games with people's lives?
Does not even know whether Nigeria has a president or a prime minister. You can see how she's waffling, she's stumbling, but this is typical of.
I think you're showing your own ignorance. The fact that you're not able to actually counter what I'm saying, and instead you're going after these things that are irrelevant, that just shows how ignorant you are.
Rattling.
Scribe is how you stop explaining the same thing over and over at work. Watch this. It'll change your life. Raise your hand if you told your boss how to do the same thing more than once. Thought so. That's why there's Scribe. Go to scribehow.com. Click Capture, task once, and Scribe will create a step-by-step guide you can share automatically. Warning, they're going to think you're a genius and ask you how you did it. Just say Scribe. Scribe instantly turns any workflow into a step-by-step guide, so you never have to explain it again. Go to scribehow.com and try it for free. You don't even need a credit card.
The Kitchen Connection at Ace Hardware is a gourmet food lover's paradise. From specialty sauces and condiments, soup mix, pasta, syrups, and breakfast food, we've got it all. The Kitchen Connection at Ace Hardware is your gourmet food headquarters.
Great in savory. It is typical. You can see she's exposing herself. She doesn't even know the country that she's trying to start a crusade on, and drawing comparisons with Gaza. You know, it's clear what she's trying to do. We have a constitution that has, go and read my constitution before you even try to have a discussion with me. Look up sections 10, 38, and 42 of our constitution. There is federal character enshrined in our constitution. It's part and parcel of it. and the priority is the region where you come from, because we don't identify ourselves as Muslims and Christians in Nigeria. We identify
The Christians
ourselves
disagree.
from regions, geopolitical
The
regions.
Christians disagree.
Is where we come from, and
But do you accept? All right, Foreign Minister. Foreign Minister, let me jump in. Let me jump in. Foreign Minister. Foreign Minister. Do you? Foreign Minister, if I may. If I may. Foreign Minister, if I may. Foreign Minister, do you accept that there is a big problem? You know, we can quibble over precise numbers, but you've already said by your own numbers, over 100 Christian churches have been attacked. You won't commit to how many Christians have been killed. I think you're slightly hiding behind the fact you don't know what all their religion was. But you must know how many people have been killed.
I can give you figures. I can give you figures. You did not ask. You did not ask me. I can give you figures of those that lost their lives when.
How many Christians have been murdered in Nigeria since 2009?
Since over the last 5 years, I can categorically tell you that 177 have been killed. And it does not mean that the killing.
But you said to me, you said to me earlier you did. Yeah, but hang on. Foreign Minister, with respect.
Muslim. They are not necessarily Muslim.
Foreign Minister.
To understand that.
Foreign Minister, with respect, earlier when I asked you that question, you said you didn't know the number because many of the people who've been killed, you didn't know what religion they were. So which is it?
Yes, so I am telling you, number killed when churches were attacked. I told you the number of the churches that were attacked.
Now, how many Christians? You misunderstood my question. How many? I want to know. I want to know. Yes, but Foreign Minister, you have had United States senators like Ted Cruz saying publicly that at least 50,000 Christians have been murdered since 2009. If you're saying that number is wildly exaggerated, what is the number?
From gratitude to comfort, new beginnings to birthdays, celebrate life's moments with something special. Find the perfect gift at Harry and David. We make it easy to be thoughtful.
I keep giving you the numbers, but clearly you are not.
You're not. You're giving me the numbers since in the last 5 years.
Accept the numbers or even listen to what I'm saying. 102, 177, number injured 98, number abducted 7. Okay, so we are not hiding any facts. But as I said, we don't go about trying to identify a Nigerian's fate when they've lost their lives. That is.
But
not,
do you condemn? Do you condemn, Foreign Minister? Foreign Minister, do you condemn? Do you condemn the attacks and the murder on Christians by Islamist groups in Nigeria?
Absolutely, 100%. I lost my father-in-law to an attack by an Islamic terrorist group, Boko Haram. So I myself am a victim. I've lost family members to attacks. And they were Muslims, but it doesn't matter whether they're Muslim or Christian, because their aim is to kill, to maim, so that they would achieve their objectives. And the number one enemy of Boko Haram is not a Christian. It is a Muslim who does not subscribe to their own brand of Islam.
Okay, I mean, Goldie Gamari, let me bring you back in there. I mean, there's no doubt that tens of thousands of moderate Muslims have also been murdered by Islamists. We can argue, you know, till the cows come home, frankly, about what the exact numbers are. But clearly, a lot of Christian churches have been attacked. So have a lot of mosques, where it is believed that the people who are, you know, observing their faith there are too moderate for the Islamists. So it seems like the Islamist groups like Boko Haram, like ISIS, are targeting pretty much anybody that they don't agree with, be that moderate Muslims or Christians. Is this not, as the foreign minister is putting forward, a case of it's not just Christians being targeted and persecuted, it's also moderate Muslims, and that there's a general wider problem with Islamist terrorism?
Well, there's definitely a problem with Islamist terrorism, but just because Muslims are being murdered, it does not negate the fact that there is a targeted ethnic cleansing of Christian Nigerians. One does not negate the other. What we can conclude from this is that there is definitely an Islamist problem. Now, one thing that the Nigerian minister is purposefully forgetting to put out there is that it's not just Boko Haram, it's also the Fulani militants. Not a lot of people know about the Fulani militants. The Fulani Islamists are also the ones who are generally targeting the Christian Nigerians, especially in the Plateau Belt. And I've had several Nigerian Christians come on and speak about this. In fact, I have seen videos where you have the Fulani militants, on their motorcycles with machetes. They're driving through various towns, and you have the Nigerian military, who's supposed to prevent them from going. They're getting orders to stand down and allow the Fulani militants to go through. Again, Pierce, the loss of life is horrible. But as you can tell from the minister, he's avoiding questions. He's avoiding eye contact. Instead of actually answering the questions, he's focusing more on trying to attack me and trying to, go after me because I'm not as familiar with the Constitution. I don't need to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to understand that, over 50,000 Christians have been murdered since 2009. I don't have to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to know that when someone yells Allahu Akbar before they massacre 200 Christians and burn Christian churches, that's not just banditry, that's jihad. And I think the reason that the foreign minister does not want to admit this is because they are somehow complicit in this. And, he is purposely saying that he is willfully ignorant, because how could the Nigerian government not know if those people who have been murdered are Christian or Muslim? The reason that he's avoiding saying that is because if they actually put out formal numbers about the numbers of Christians targeted and murdered, then they will have to admit that there is a genocide. They don't want to admit that there's a genocide, but that's exactly what's happening, and I'm glad President Trump and others are calling it out.
Foreign Minister, finally, your response to that.
A Kaiser Permanente Medicare Medi-Cal health plan brings your care and coverage together in one place. Your doctors, pharmacy, and your health plan all centered around you. Because when everything comes together, you get the care you need.
Prada, 2000.
eBay 2025. Dior from eBay.
Back with the baguette.
Fendi, guaranteed authentic. Let me guess.
eBay.
Same.
Millions of pre-loved finds backed by authenticity guarantee. eBay. Things people love.
Well, like I said, the lady and people like her trade in starting wars in faraway places where they have no contact, they have no understanding of, and they can do that from their armchairs from a safe distance. It's a real life situation. This lady would not know the difference between a Fulani man, a Tiv man, an Igbo man, if they stood in front of her. But you can see clearly overnight, because it pays, she's probably making money out of it.
Actually, I'm getting $0 for this. I'm getting paid zero. I'm getting paid zero for this. I have been speaking out against human rights violations. Listen, Pierce, as you can tell, he's not able to actually answer anything that I'm saying. All he does is just attack me and attack my credibility. So I think this shows the viewers exactly where the Nigerian government is.
She's going to keep on insisting that she has not heard the figures. So that's what she's trying to do. Start a war. They want to break up Nigeria the same way they broke up Sudan, and now they've run away. She's not talking about Sudan anymore. She's not talking about Sudan.
I actually have talked about Sudan in other episodes as well.
For Sudan to be dismembered. This is what they do. This is what they do. What they try to do to Africa. Nigeria is the largest country on the African continent. It is the largest shock absorber to the African continent in terms of admitting migrants, in terms of freedom of religion. It's Africa's largest democracy. But people like you who don't really care about freedoms, about the freedoms of either Christians or Muslims or Africans, will continue to agitate for the breakup of Nigeria, for war. The same way that it's happening in South Sudan, and you've kept mum because you've moved on.
The reason that I know that you are working with the Islamic Republic of Iran is because the Islamic Republic puts out the same narrative about balkanization. That balkanization narrative is something that the Islamists constantly use.
That Africans are losing their lives. You, it's just another black country to be broken up. You don't care who dies.
Your hands are the one that's covered in blood, not mine.
But we've seen you.
Not mine. I'm not denying the Christian genocide, but you are.
Not going to happen to Nigeria.
Shame on you.
Move on to your next project. Move on to your next, your disgrace. Your disgrace to the Canadian nation. I'm shocked that you say that you actually practice as a politician in Canada. Move on to the next episode. Leave us alone.
Well, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you both very much indeed for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Piers.
Thank you.
Today's show is sponsored by OneSkin, which can help all of us look even younger. OneSkin is redefining skincare with cult favorites like OS1 Body, Face and Eye, built around their patented OS1 peptide, which is clinically proven to target senescent cells, a key driver of skin aging. Backed by 5 clinical studies, OneSkin products improve skin texture, firmness, and elasticity over time. They have more than 10,000 5-star reviews, born from over 10 years of longevity research. OneSkin's OS1 peptide is proven to target the cells that cause the visible signs of aging, helping you unlock your healthier skin and hair now and as you age. For a limited time, try OneSkin with 15% off using code PEERS, that's P-I-E-R-S, at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code PEERS. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, so please support our show and tell them that we sent you. ExpressVPN is the simple way to protect your privacy online. In the US, internet providers record your online activity and can sell your data. In many countries, they've even legally required to store your information for years. Along with millions of others, I use ExpressVPN to stop the tracking. It hides your IP address and it routes all your activity through encrypted servers to keep advertisers and scammers from accessing your data. You can choose the level of protection you need. The basic plan is just $3.49 a month, less than 12 cents a day. Right now, you can get an extra 4 months of ExpressVPN if you go to expressvpn.com/peers. To scan the QR code on the screen or go to expressvpn.com/peers to get 4 additional months of service. That's expressvpn.com/peers.
The Kitchen Connection at Ace Hardware is a paradise for kitchen lovers. From professional cookware, bakeware, serving pieces, and gadgets, we've got all your hosting must-haves. The Kitchen Connection at Ace Hardware, where your kitchen dreams come true.
The weather might change, but you're always ready. Because out there, nothing's predictable, except how you show up. Gear that meets the demand, every shift, every time. Galls, ready for anything.
Well, joining us now is the Reverend Zeke Dachema. Many people saw his passionate speech beside his shallow grave, some of the victims of this persecution, including President Donald Trump. Well, welcome to you, Reverend. It's good to talk to you. Your words clearly had an impact on President Trump. What do you believe is the reality about the situation in Nigeria with regard to the persecution of Christians?
The word of Trump towards Nigeria is but marvelous, as is comparable to what the Bible says. As Israel was under persecution in Egypt, when there comes another Pharaoh that did not know Joseph. The Israelites went into deep crisis. Their labor was double. It was double. To the stage, God allowed this thing to happen to the stage that they have to cry. When they cried out, Exodus chapter 3, verse 7 came up. God decided to say, it is time, let us go down. I've heard the cry of my people, and let us show concern. Depends on different interpretation of the Bible. But one version says, let us show concern. I have concern for my people in Egypt. I've heard their cry. Let me go down and deliver them from the Egyptian, from slavery. It is same thing with us in Nigeria. All Nigerian Christians have been in bondage right from 2021. In fact, it is a stage that they have, the Islamic terrorists have vowed that Christians should never lead them. 2021, there was organized massacre that cut across every place in the nation, Nigeria. But the media here are downplaying things for themselves. And this is where we are in trouble. I've performed several genocide burials, more than 70 times. Imagine some of the graves are 501 people killed in one night in Dogona, Hawa.
Being a new mom is no joke. I mean, the poop everywhere, and they are so expensive. Seriously, I mean, they can get hurt so easily, and they are always putting things in their mouth that they shouldn't. But it's worth it though, because they are so darn cute. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're mom's little cutie.
Spot Pet insurance plans have covered over 500,000 pets, getting them up to 90% cash back in about 2 days for covered claims like surgeries, dental issues, and much more. Choose America's favorite pet insurance for your baby. I mean, pet.
It's your time to cash in, so don't just play. Stay. And Northern California's premier casino resort. Book your getaway now at cashcreek.com.
Village named Jemburu. The Nigerian government downplayed that one because the Islamic are controlling the government.
So the Nigerian government, if I may just jump in there, the Nigerian government has vehemently denied there is a genocide of Christians in Nigeria. Further, they say a lot of Muslims have also been killed by the likes of Boko Haram for being too moderate, and that therefore the issue of Islamists killing people is not restricted just to Christians, but also to moderate Muslims. What do you say to that?
So let me give you the background of what happened. This is the background with initial fact finding. They created Boko Haram by many that are in hierarchy of the government to remove Goodluck, who is a Christian. This is what happened. They steered them. They caused riot every village. And the people run away, they were relocated. And their target is to kill the Christian. Because Goodluck is a Christian. That's why Goodluck says, my blood is not worthy for other people to die. He voluntarily and submit and accept result even before it was finished counting. He knows the danger. had it been Goodluck announced the true result of the election, many Christians in the north will go into the grave. Because it was really declared a jihad. In Borno, they will enter village on Sunday. They will meet people in the church and they will lock the church with Christian inside. Anybody that is found outside, they will order him to go in. They lock the church. They put Gatling. They set the church building ablaze. All Christians inside, including the pastor, the elders, and everybody, were burned to death. This is the report that they will never tell. They move to other village. They will find people in the church. They will bring them out and separate male and female. And all the male, they will assemble them for slaughtering. They will slaughter all of them, including the old, the youth, and everybody. And for the female, they will select the female for themselves and divide it among themselves. Sexual harassment will take place.
Reverend Dashwood, if I could ask you, if I could ask you, what is your message to Donald Trump? Because he was very moved by your words. What is your message to him?
My message to Donald Trump should never stop what he's doing, because what he's doing is not his own. Showing concern to Nigerian Christians, it tallies with Exodus chapter 3, verse 7. As God showed concern to Egypt, to Israel in Egypt, the Hebrews, so he has to show concern to us. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria. And when it comes, it's not going to be at us alone. It's going to help the Muslims. When the Christians in the far north were able to escape to the Middle Belt, what will they left? You hear them saying Muslims are also killed. By who? By Muslims. Because of set differences. Some were trained in Saudi Arabia. Some were trained in Afghanistan. Some were trained in Iran. All of them have different background of belief. They brought it into Nigeria. After there was no Christian in the crossbar to kill, the blood of innocent Christians that have killed is fighting them. Then they went into fighting each other. The sect of Izala are fighting the Sunni, fighting the Derika. That's why they'll meet them in the mosque and kill them, chanting Allah Akbar, because of different belief in Islam. And this thing has not been common. It has been happening right from the time of Muhammad. Jihad. Sometimes at a point it will end up seeing same people of same faith killing each other. Like today, the ISWAP and the Boko Haram were busy killing each other at Lake Chad. It's not a news anymore.
Well, it's clearly a serious situation, and it's definitely worthy of more global attention. So, Reverend, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have seen death and devastation all around you in the ongoing genocide in Nigeria, but you have been fighting back with worship. Take a look. So, Kasi, tell us, what is going on in Nigeria right now?
I'm glad to be here, first of all, because this is one way to raise more awareness on what is going on. I'm sure you've seen the clips everywhere. Jos, Kaduna, you know, it's a continuous attack on Christianity, you know, and the killings have not stopped. I mean, as far back as 2017 that I can remember, Christians have been attacked in their homes, in their communities, homes being burnt down, houses being destroyed, farmlands being destroyed. You know, so it's been a long journey of having to endure these things as a believer. You're not certain. You can be on the road and you're attacked because of that. You know, so yeah, this is exactly what is happening in Nigeria. And contrary to what is being spread, Nigeria is a great country. There is no doubt about that. But these are some of the things that we face as Christians in Nigeria. I am from Kaduna State, and I cannot tell you the number of times southern Kaduna specifically has been ravaged by these attacks, by Fulani herdsmen. You know, the numbers comes in not one or two persons, pastors being kidnapped and killed, even with ransom being paid. You know, families left completely helpless. I cannot tell you the number of IDP camps that have been created over the years. And the moment they are being dissolved, a new one has to be created because there's a new set of attacks happening. You know, and I cannot tell you the number of churches that have closed down. I was speaking to a friend just recently who is a pastor in the Baptist, and he said just from, it's not up to 15 kilometers, 2 villages away from here, about 18 churches have been shut down because there are continuous attacks. Fulani comes, they scatter everything that has been built, and the people they don't feel safe again to stay there. So it's real. It's not just a story. It's not just the headline. It's not news. It's really happening.
Well, you have an international audience. Obviously, you are a well-known singer, and so you kind of understand the dynamic of trying to tell the story. And thankfully, it's starting to resonate. Obviously, President Trump made a statement about it recently. But what do you want the world to know, right? Let's say that there are dignitaries, Congress people, whoever might be watching this video right now. What do you want the Western world leadership to know about what's happening in your country?
The truth of the fact that it is not, we're not trying to push any propaganda. It's far from that. It's the fact that we don't feel entirely safe. You understand what I'm saying? I shouldn't be a Christian and feel unsafe to be a Christian. There should be liberty in whatever faith you choose to worship. You choose to worship. If you're a Muslim, it's great. If you're a Christian, it's great. If you're trying to be in the middle, it's fine. But you shouldn't feel unsafe in your own land, in your own country, simply because you choose to be a believer in Jesus. Secondly, this is our land. You cannot come to a man's land and send him out. It's not done anywhere. It is our land. We were born here. And so you cannot come invade and think that it is fine. No. This is where I was born. I've gotten people saying, why won't you leave? Leave to where? This is what we call our identity, the richness of our soil. We are farmers. We are farmers. We plant and we hope that we'll become major exporters in our local crops. But we are unable to go to the farm now. In fact, when we are able to go to the farm, they come and they destroy our crops. Their animals go in and an entire plot of land is gone. You know, so what I want them to know is, if for any reason I, as an individual, as a human being, does not have the liberty of faith, liberty as a human, not as a Christian now or whatever religion, as a human being, first of all, if I don't have the liberty to be who I want to be in my own land, I think that's a breach of human rights. That's a breach of human rights. And everyone deserves to be and live comfortably in his own land. So yeah, it's just to bring to light the fact that we don't feel very comfortable. We don't feel very at home. We don't feel very relaxed, even in our own land. Yeah. And we need more security. We need more people to know this. We need more security, basically. Yeah.
Well, I've been covering tragically this ongoing genocide in Nigeria for months now, and I see the photos on a weekly basis of people being hacked to death with machetes, little kids, little babies. It's just horrific. It's barbaric. It's gruesome. It's demonic. And then I came across your Instagram page, and I got chills. I almost started crying because here you are in the middle of areas that have been absolutely devastated. People have been killed. People have been abducted. And you're worshiping. Why are you doing that?
Like I said, Jesus never ran away from his calling. He did not leave when it got hard. He didn't hide away from the fight. And worship for me, growing up, from our little morning devotion, we spend more than 30 minutes just singing choruses in Hausa with our mother and our father. That's how we were raised. Our songs birthed from genuine and pure relationship with God and from experiences. And there's this song, Allah yana sama, yana ji, yana gani. It means that God in heaven, he sees and he hears. Songs like that were born and birthed from experiences where you feel like God has neglected you. But this song serves as a reminder that no, he hears and he sees. Everything that you do, he hears and he sees. So for I don't think it should be, it's not just a northern thing. It should be a believer's thing. That our response to pain, our response to struggle, our response to rejection shouldn't be fight, shouldn't be pick up a weapon. It should be worship. When the children of Israel were faced with the wall called Jericho,
come on,
the Bible says that it wasn't their swords that broke down that wall. It wasn't how well dressed they were. It wasn't the speakers. It wasn't any of that. It was worship, the sound of worship. So we are not distracted. We are not people where the reason why I'm amplifying this thing is because worship just has a way of calming the situation and allowing you to see Christ, even when it is hard for you to pray, even when it is hard for you to groan in the spirit. When you raise an incense of worship, it touches heaven. It surely touches heaven. And one of the things I will always say, God gives us sounds. God is a music person. The herbs, the 6-string instrument.
Father George Dogo, in the ongoing genocide in Nigeria, your community was recently devastated by Fulani terrorists. Obviously, right now, you don't have the best internet connection. We're using Zoom because we have to tell your story. So what's going on right now in your village?
Well, the situation in my village now is terrible. Let me begin first. What happened just last night till today morning? Today morning, one of the villages very close to me by name Amadu was attacked by the Fulani ethnic militia. 3 persons were killed just last night, and the whole place was ransacked. That is just last night. But prior to now, I live in a place called Takun, and Takun is the headquarters of Takun local government. And the place that is at serious siege by the Fulani ethnic militia is the ward, one ward called Chanchaji ward. And in this particular place, it has been for not just, it has been now about 2 good months, thereabout, that these places have been under attack. All the places, they have crops, they are farmers. Their crops have been eaten up by the cows, houses burned down, people macheted and killed. The number of those killed As of now, the count could be about 32, 33. Yes, 32, 33.
And this is just in your village, in your parish?
Yes. Not, and if for the whole diocese, for the whole, in short, if we talk about, we have a, so the whole diocese, right? The whole of Okari diocese is under siege. It's not just in my village, because others are also having the same problem. You know, if I could just tell you, you will get shocked. Within the period that we're talking about, see, we have so many parishes in Okari diocese. Holy Spirit have displaced person ransacked by the Fulani ethnic militia, about 5,920. Blessed Maraba Parish, Daniel, has about 4,296. And let me shock you. In my parish, Tapu, we have about 26,171 displaced persons. And then another parish close by me, which is called St. Philip Catholic Parish, in the same place, we have about 500. We have about 500 and thereabout. The sum total of those displaced, Catholics displaced, they are more than 100 plus. And then other Christians, we're measuring up to 300,000 Christians displaced in the geographical region called Okari Diocese.
Wow. Well, Father, again, I appreciate you getting on. Obviously, we had some internet connections, but we just had to make this work because we have to tell your story. So let me ask you this, Father. You have a large international audience watching you right now. What do you want the world to know about what's happening in your community?
Right. What I want the world to know is that there is genocide taking place right in this southern Taraba, which is the geographical or the jurisdiction of Okari Diocese. You know, that is what I want. And the story is not told in many instances. And we don't have people to tell our story. So this is an opportunity for us to tell our story. If I tell you now that people have no food, people have been graced upon their cross, have been graced upon no food, no houses, no water, no nothing. How I wish after this I will send you pictures, you know, to back up what I am telling you. That is where we are now.
Well, you know, tragically, I've been covering this genocide in Nigeria, and the photos that I've seen over the months have just been horrific. It's not bombs, it's machetes. It's up close and personal. It's graphic. It's intentional. It's just barbaric. Let me ask you maybe one last question, and I know this is kind of a difficult question to ask because I know for a fact it's not true. But what would you say to maybe officials in the Nigerian government or otherwise who say this isn't a genocide, this is just clashes between ethnic groups, this isn't a genocide? What would your response be?
This is not an issue of having a clash with someone. It's not the issue. The issue is this: when you come to my place and you attack me unprovoked, then you send me out and you occupy the place and you stay there and you don't allow me to come back for years. Is that a clash? No. That is not a clash. You chase me out, you occupy it, and you stay, and I can't come back. Come back and killed. So what do you call that?
Well, brother, again, thank you so much for sharing this. I know it's late in Nigeria. I just feel like maybe one more question, just because I'm so grateful that we finally made the connection here. Okay, let's say an American official, a European official, someone with the ability to do something is watching this video. What would you want? Let's say the president of the United States, someone high up in the UK, European Union, NATO, I don't know what it might be, a member of Congress. What would you tell someone that has the ability to actually do something, what would you want them to do?
When you cannot do a particular thing, and you find out that there's somebody who can help you, you call on him. First, what you want for us presently, if what you want to happen to us is that is to have peace, to have peace. That's the first thing. To return back to our places. That is the first thing to the government. But we don't know. But as I told you before, I don't know whether the government is ready to ask anybody to help me or they are capable of doing it, but we don't know. Because President, let me tell you, I just rushed to one of the places that was attacked, and there was the security cannot guarantee it. Let me just shock you very soon. Before I come back here, our governor presently, he is supposed to have decamped to another party, but now he said he cannot decamp because in the far state that people have been kidnapped there, what is the name of the state now? KB state. They have been kidnapped, so he cannot do it. Meanwhile, in his own state, people are macheted, people have been displaced, and that's not his problem. But then, and now you go there and find that people are suffering. I went there for the people don't have any food to eat. Some person are being macheted, and they cannot even access even a hospital because it's just a village, and nobody will carry them to a bigger hospital.
Well, Father, I hope this story goes far and wide. Please do help share this video, comment. Let's make sure that this story, again, gets in front of as many people as humanly possible. But as for now, Father, thank you so much for your time, and God bless.
Karfe 12 sai ga Fulani sun zo sun rufe suna kashe.
So what she said is we were sleeping in the night and Fulani herdsmen came in the night and were killing them and burning their houses.
How did she know it was Fulani herdsmen? Has she seen them before? Okay. How was she able to recognize them?
Hey, where I think it's central Fulani ne.
Don sun zo suna ta yaren su, suna ta barazana, suna ta yaren su wai ina Allah mu ya soka ya cece mu, yau za su kashe mu, za su gama mu. Ranar sun kashe mu yayana guda 3 mai shekara 14 sun cire shi sun yanka shi a kofa, mai shekara 10 sun kone shi a daki, mai shekara 2 namiji sun kashe shi sun kone shi a daki, sai ga mai gidana sun kashe shi. Ranar su yi mana kone-kone kawai suna ta magana yaren Fulani, suna ce ina Allahnku, Allah ya soko ya cece ku, yau za mu kashe ku, suna ta magana.
What she said is that night they came and they were speaking their language, dialect, and after speaking their dialects, they said, where is your God? They are going to kill you today, we are going to kill you today, we are going to burn your houses. They killed her 3 sons. One 14 years, one 10, and the last one is 2 years. While they killed her husband too, they burned their houses, and that's why she is having these bonds.
Out and take over that land. That's their mission. So they don't want make person throw light on it. That's why I want to thank Nicki Minaj, a foreign celebrity, a foreign singer, called a throw light. In the UN conference, what they do, use our voice.
In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart. And entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray.
They say make we no talk. They say make we no talk. They invade Nigeria like this so that those that are by people can continue to be by people. They say make we no talk so that we pretend say nothing they go on. Whereas now full invasion to wipe out Christians in Nigeria. They say make we no talk. They say make we no talk or say this is not start today. What are you talking about it? No talk. You are wasting your time. You when you talk say there's no persecution of Christians in Nigeria. What is this?
Waiting be that Christians gather to pray peacefully. Mama, papa, pikin, brother, sister. In Kwara, you get the mind, enter the place. You say you be Fulani Muslim. You enter the place, go invade them. Buy some people, carry some people. Show me one mosque where Christians enter, go invade. Show me one mosque. Say this particular tribe in Nigeria, they are predominantly Christians. They enter the mosque, go invade. Carry them enter bush. Then some Christians can say nothing like that. Call it downplay am in this country. Fire no go enter. Show me one Fulani leader where don't condemn what they go for Nigeria since. If they know they strategically they support it. Say look no talk. So that what go up, a group of Christians gather to worship, beating, some killed, 3 people killed, other kidnapped. Even the elderly were not spared. Una saw elderly people. My own grandmama. I'm not from Kwara. And they look at that mama as my grandmama. You see and they walk out like this. You know, because of that mama go back. You say make I'm not talking. You decrease. You. Well, say me you are. Then someone will come and try to downplay it. I have sorts of people. The witches are wizards in our society. The wicked one. They say na content. They say how can this type of church get CCTV? That church that can buy those blocks. Do that type of church, even a 1 bedroom, call roof farm, pay town, get pastor's office, get pulpit, get microphone. They don't fit buy CCTV of how much. That's not even CCTV, now live stream. They don't fit buy camera. None of them get camera just to live stream. You say the thing no dey shake. Now the camera where they see this so see the thing no dey shake. So you don't know what is called tripod. So if you put something for tripod, you know they shake. Some people when you go they suffer, you don't know what they make you suffer. Think of different things. Don't say something so you dey talk your contribution. When you dey suffer, and they still expect us to keep quiet in the name of peace. Peace for who? Peace for where? Now only you go to enjoy peace. Only you now go to enjoy peace. What about the elderly women? All those our brothers and sisters that were praying. They know sabi enjoy peace, abi. They don't deserve peace, abi. Before you say it is fake, make a carry you go Sahara reporters. You can see breaking terrorists. Attack CAC church in Kwara community, K3, adopted pastor, several worshippers. Make we read some of it. Panic and tears swept through Eruku town in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State on Tuesday evening as terrorists stormed a branch of Christ Apostolic Church, CAC. You pastors that are saying there's no genocide, no persecution of Christians. I know you are working for your belly. When people look you as a good person, you are already a walking dead person. You're a ghost. You don't even kill yourself with your mouth. You don't kill yourself. You don't murder yourself. Your conscience. Killing 3 worshippers, abducting several others, including the pastor. Sources told Sahara reporters that the attackers invaded the church during a meeting and immediately opened fire, sending worshippers running for cover. 3 members were shot dead on the spot before the assailant seized an unspecified number of people. The government came in suddenly. Now person they talk so and started shooting. 3 people were killed instantly for praying in a church. One source said they gathered others at gunpoint and marched them into the bush. We still don't know the exact number taken. The attackers reportedly escaped through the bush path that connects Eruku to neighboring communities, leaving residents in panic and confusion. He said they don't live stream that thing now. I'm going to say a lie, nothing like that. Because okay, this is just say, man, it go reach you. Earlier, Sahara reporters reported that tension erupted on Tuesday evening in Eruku, a community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, after heavily armed terrorists launched a coordinated attack, forcing travelers and residents to flee into surrounding bushes for safety. That place is under full invasion. What happened recently in Taraba? Now Christians they fight, not what you want to tell me. And those were the fight modern Muslims. Now Boko Haram and Islam. But Fulani Esme, they are after Christians' life everywhere. Fulani militias. They are after Christians. Fulani militias are after the Christians' life in Nigeria. I talk. The bad person, if they cry, say make no cry. If they complain, say make no complain. Just keep quiet. Oh, make we look good. Make we look good. Make you look good. Don't say you look good. You are good. You are a good person. Did they play? I want to ask you one question. Did you see attacks like this in Kwara during Buhari? You know they like that too. But we not say it dey happen for other places. Now it don't reach Kwara where Tinubu dey. Abi? Maybe after the 8 years of Tinubu, because I know say he go win. Another president go call enter, he go call reach on the mouth. Na small way they work. You think say they say, hey, man, he go reach everybody. He go reach. You think say they safe now? Those people in Kwara, they will save them. During Goodluck Jonathan, Benue, Plateau, and the rest. Buhari, he got the enter Benue. Now, Kwara, kidnapping everywhere. Another person go enter, he go reach everybody. He go reach. Unless we start condemning it like this, exposing it, because the new threat of genocide, of persecution, now not to talk, because their mission is to wipe out and take over that land. That's their mission. So they don't want to person throw light on it. That's why I want to thank Nicki Minaj, a foreign celebrity, a foreign singer, called a throw light. In the UN conference, what they do, use her voice, and some of you will call her, they sing naked. This one will enter heaven, so pastors will not enter. Listen to her.
It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are. where we live and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It's about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security, should shake. I am joined here today by peace builders, by faith leaders, by those who saw violence, saw rising intolerance, saw the threats clearly before us, and chose not to look the other way.
You don't hear us, so wicked people. You keep saying it did not start today, Abi, because I saw this comment on my Twitter. Say it did not start today. I want to ask you, who said it started today? Because it did not start today, we should keep quiet. Have we not been speaking about it for years? It's just that now international communities, I don't know what happened. God say, we need to look at Nigeria matter. We not talk about Gaza tire. We not talk about Palestine tire. What did they go for Nigeria? They keep 500, 200, 100, 50. They kidnap children. Where in the school? We will look at that side. That's why they talk about it now. Okay? I want to ask you, you want to say, you know, start during this administration. Who said it started now? I want to ask you again. Subsidy, started in Tinubu's administration. No, he no stop him. Why he stop him? He say no good. So what about insecurity? If we could discuss subsidy when no start in his time, data boy. Why am not we talk about insecurity when no start during his time? So the way you stop this will also stop insecurity. So we cannot talk life of people, something they worry you. See, foreign person, formerly Iranian, now I come Sabi Nigeria past some of you. Nigeria is transparent to the world. You are not invisible. They see you. They know you pass you. They Sabi, they get people on ground. Listen.
A case of it's not just Christians being targeted and persecuted. It's also moderate Muslims. And there's a general wider problem with Islamist terrorism.
Well, there's definitely a problem with Islamist terrorism, but just because Muslims are being murdered, it does not negate the fact that there is a targeted ethnic cleansing of Christian Nigerians. One does not negate the other. What we can conclude from this is that there is definitely an Islamist problem. Now, one thing that the Nigerian minister is purposely forgetting to put out there is that it's not just Boko Haram, it's also the Fulani militants. Not a lot of people know about the Fulani militants. The Fulani Islamists are also the ones who are generally targeting the Christian Nigerians, especially in the Plateau Belt. And I've had several Nigerian Christians come on and speak about this. In fact, I have seen videos where you have the Fulani militants, on their motorcycles with machetes. They're driving through various towns, and you have the Nigerian military who's supposed to prevent them from going. They're getting orders to stand down and allow the Fulani militants to go through. Again, Pierce, the loss of life is horrible. But as you can tell from the minister, he's avoiding questions. He's avoiding eye contact. Instead of actually answering the questions, he's focusing more on trying to attack me and trying to, go after me because I'm not as familiar with the Constitution. I don't need to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to understand that, over 50,000 Christians have been murdered since 2009. I don't have to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to know that when someone yells Allahu Akbar before they massacre 200 Christians and burn Christian churches, that's not just banditry, that's jihad. And I think the reason that the foreign minister does not want to admit this is because they are somehow complicit in this. And, he is purposely saying that he is willfully ignorant, because how could the Nigerian government not know if those people who have been murdered are Christian or Muslim? The reason that he's avoiding saying that is because if they actually put out formal numbers about the numbers of Christians targeted and murdered, then they will have to admit that there was a genocide. They don't want to admit that there's a genocide, but that's exactly what's happening, and I'm glad President Trump and others are calling it out.
You don't hear us, so you can't confuse anybody. For me, see, there is no hope. Politicians only think about the next election and they their mind. They can spend any amount for that will spend any amount to stop insecurity. As long as they have their personal security, nobody cares about your father or your family. You saw PDP yesterday, Abi? They were fighting badly. Fighting for HQ. Who takes over? If they fight like that, talk like that against insecurity in Nigeria, Trump will not even get time for us, but they do another thing. Everybody will talk. Did you see any statement from any of them about the general where they buy for battlefield now for the next election 2027? Nobody said it. No hope. Any statement about the students where they kidnap, you hear them from those politicians, go their Twitter handles. No day. Now who takes over the HQ of PDP? Opposition. Nothing. Also, when it reach your turn, directly or indirectly, because those mama, papa, when they carry so, now people, mama, some of the day abroad, people's brother, some of the day obodo igbo. If it not reach you directly, go reach indirectly. And when it go reach, nobody will talk. Everybody is silent. No talk now. That's why I dey respect this pastor. He continue to talk. You can't stop him. You can't bribe him because he does see. He does very many. Listen now. Listen. He talk for Piers Morgan's program yesterday. I also want to thank God for this man, for using his platform to expose evil where they go for Nigeria. Because the strength of this evil and the sponsor, now may they not talk about them, may they play the killings, may they pretend they they exist so that they go continue. Because now to take over, who will listen?
All Nigerian Christians have been in bondage right from 2021. In fact, it is a stage that they have the Islamic terrorists have vowed that Christians should never lead them. 2021, there was organized massacre that caught across every place in the nation, Nigeria. But the media here are downplaying things for themselves. And this is where we are in trouble. I've performed several genocide burial, more than 70 times. Imagine some of the graves are 501. People killed in one night in Dogola Awa village named Gebru. The Nigerian government downplayed that one because the Islamic are controlling the government.
So the Nigerian government, if I may just jump in there, the Nigerian government has vehemently denied the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. Further, they say a lot of Muslims have also been killed by the likes of Boko Haram for being too moderate, and that therefore the issue of Islamists killing people is not restricted just to Christians, but also to moderate Muslims. What do you say to that?
So let me give you the background of what happened. This is the background of initial fact finding. They created Boko Haram by many that are in high ranking of the government to remove Goodluck, who is a Christian. This is what happened. They steered them. They caused riot every village. And the people run away, they were located. And their target is to kill the Christian. Because Goodluck is a Christian. That's why Goodluck says, my blood is not worthy for other people to die. He volunteered and submit and accept the result even before it was finished counting. He knows the danger. Had it been Goodluck announced the true result of the election, many Christians in the north will go into the grave. Because it was really declared a jihad. In Borno, they will enter village on Sunday. They will meet people in the church. And they will lock the church building with Christian inside. Anybody that is found outside, they will order him to go in. They lock the church. They put Gatling. They set the church building at last. All Christians that were inside, including the pastor, the elders, and everybody, were burned to death. This is a report that they will never tell. They move to other village. They will find people in the church. They will bring them out and separate men and female. And all the men, they will assemble them for slaughtering. They will slaughter all of them, including the old, the youth, and everybody. And for the female, they will select the female for themselves and divide it among themselves, sexual harassment will take place.
Reverend Dashwood, if I could ask you, if I could ask you, what is your message to Donald Trump? Because he was very moved by your words. What is your message to him?
My message to Donald Trump should never stop what he's doing, because what he's doing is not his own. Showing concern to Nigerian Christians, it tallies with Exodus chapter 3, verse 7. As God showed concern to Egypt, to Israel in Egypt, the Hebrews, so he has to show concern to us. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria. And when it comes, it's not going to be at us alone. It's going to help the Muslims. When the Christians in the family were able to escape to the Middle Belt, what will they left? You hear them saying Muslims are also killed. By who? By Muslims. Because of set differences. Some were trained in Saudi Arabia. Some were trained in Afghanistan. Some were trained in Iran. All of them have different background of belief. They brought it into Nigeria. After Christians in the crossfire to kill, the blood of innocent Christians that have killed is fighting them. Then they went into fighting each other. The sect of Islam are fighting the Sunni, fighting the Tariqa. That's why they'll meet them in the mosque and kill them. Chanting Allah Akbar. Because of different belief in Islam. And this thing has not been common. It has been happening right from the time of Muhammad. Jihad. Sometimes at the point it will end up seeing same people of same faith killing each other. Like today, the Iswap and the Boko Haram were busy killing each other at Lake Chad. It's not a news anymore.
Well, it's clearly it's clearly a serious situation, and it's definitely worthy of more global attention. So, Reverend, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You don't get us. So if you like, nothing they happen. You know, start today. You are wasting your time. You want to blackmail this administration as if I'm talking about the administration. I'm talking about people that are killed. It will reach your tongue directly on that. It will reach your tongue. Maybe one day when you want to enter Nigeria, maybe 20 years time or 10 years time. Because as they continue, it increase. And what you are just say about Nigeria, anything will enter to stop her in the day difficult. It means say the day when you go come back, you will say, what till they do, forget that thing. You want me Trump come Nigeria, you don't know what you they call for. What you are they call for. Come and help us now. I don't want me Trump come, you come and help. So many of the kids they go like that. Many of the kids they go like that. Bring solution, no solution. What next? No, just okay. Everybody's taking. I don't really understand which okay, I want to do it. So many help us with ammo. I don't know be doing that. Oh, what did they on my? Just drop off a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Anyway, guys, this is the end of the live stream. I will see you guys on my next one. Please continue to project what's going on in Nigeria. This is not the time to be silent or sit on the sideline. We have to continue to re-echo and echo and re-echo and echo. These people are gaslighting, trying to use propaganda, but those of us that know what the truth is should continue to shine the torchlight. Ignore the distractions. There are a lot of people that are going to come at you and, with all kinds of ideology. All right. The invaders currently in Nigeria, they are not, they're already carrying out what their intentions are. They're already taking over lands. So don't let anybody gaslight you by saying, let America come and take over the whole of Nigeria. Since your politicians have been there, how many things have you benefited? What have you benefited? What have you benefited from your politicians? If it requires Trump taking, let him take over. Because clearly we are not ready as a people. All right? So for those who want to cry, please cry very well. All right? And if you're watching this on replay, kindly like. And those, including those that are crying, please like, share, okay, so you can cry well. Thank you all so much for joining. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys on my next one. Michael, thank you so much.